Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mundane Matt, and welcome back to $3 Theater. Today is Thursday, the 19th of January, 2017, and there's a fair amount of stuff to talk about today. The new and final Wolverine trailer, Logan trailer dropped, as well as the new trailer for Power Rangers. The Oscars are changing up how they're doing a couple things. A very popular actor is joining the EMOJI movie, which has got people kind of in a stir. And Bruce Campbell has announced a new show that he's trying to work on that's reality based. So all of those things and more here on this episode of $3 Theater. All right, okay, I got to talk about it. The Power Rangers trailer. Okay, so when I first heard that Lionsgate was going to be making a Power Rangers movie, I thought to myself, oh, holy God. Oh, holy God, we are totally fucking screwed. See, the thing is, I'm actually a fan of the 1996 one with Ivan the Ooze. I thought it was a funny, fun, dumb movie, as many movies were at that time. You know, coming off of the 1980s, finding their own groove in the 90s mythos, as well as just kind of being these out there things, especially with the new advancements in CGI and technology and things like that. So I really was on board to see what Power Rangers could come up with, and I found the movie to be fun, actually. And so when they said that they were doing this new one and it was more of kind of a gritty take on it with Elizabeth Banks playing Rita Repulsa, I was like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. Well, then the first trailer came out and I was like, okay, it looks a little bit like Chronicle, right? A little bit like Chronicle. It doesn't have that Max Landis flair, but okay. And it looked all right. But I was still waiting to see Zordon and you know, the Megazords and everything else. So this trailer dropped. It is 2 minutes long, and it kind of gives us a little bit more about the characters. You know, like Billy found the coins. They kind of show them all, you know, like learning to fight and everything, and they fight the holographic putties, and the putties look pretty cool, you know. And then of course there's a little bit more Rita Repulsa, and they end up fighting on the streets, and then at the end of it, they start forming the Megazord, and it's like yes, and you hear like dun 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 dun, and like yes, it was, oh man, like I was kind of tearing up a little bit because it looked really cool. I mean, it's still dumb and campy as all hell, but enjoyable, right? Like just from a pure entertainment spectacle enjoyment. Like that's my whole thing with these kind of movies. I don't go in looking for deep philosophical discussions. I don't go in looking for anything of the sort. I go in to simply have fun, right? Like Triple X3 comes out tomorrow, and that movie is probably going to be dumb as shit, but I really want to see it because it looks dumb as shit. And sometimes you just want a little bit of escapism in your life, and not everything has to have that larger, profound meaning. There's many movies a year that are made like that. I don't want every single one I see to be like it, you know? So, the Power Rangers one did look pretty cool. I do want to see what they do with the movie. I'm not saying it's going to be good, but the fact that they threw in the Kanye song Power, I thought it felt really well with the flow of the trailer, and then everything with it worked out well. It's actually a good song. It's one of the only Kanye songs I like. It's got a great beat to it. It's got a great rap to it. And when it's put in the right trailer in the right way, it elevates it up like a motherfucker. So adding in the right Yeezy song worked out well for this, and completely sold me on going to the preview screening, if not seeing it opening weekend. All right, so jumping over into the Logan trailer. This is the final trailer before the movie drops in like 6 weeks. So we are almost there. We are almost at Hugh Jackman's final ride as Wolverine, and it's super bittersweet for me. Like I'm sad to go see this movie. I don't want to see him walk away from the role. I mean, I get it. He's been doing it for 18 years. You know, it's like he definitely wants to like move the fuck on. But at the same time, this trailer was dope as shit. Now I watched the international Red Band, because I feel that probably had a lot more violence in it than the regular one. And this one was all about violence. That was this trailer was them showcasing Logan, a clearly beaten, you know, but still full of rage, and X-23, and how she is learning to control her powers, and everything else. I love the fact that they're adding in a bit of humor, and swearing. Both Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart drop F-bombs in that trailer, which I don't know if that's giving away too much. I don't know if that's giving us too much of the goods of the film. But what I did read, though, is that journalists thought they were going to a preview event with like select clips from the movie, and Fox ended up showing them the first 40 minutes, the first act of the film. And they came away, from what I was reading, without going into spoilers, because I didn't want any, they say that it's like phenomenal. Like, it feels like a Western, it's violent, it's bloody, it's gritty. And you know, you're hearing talks about like possible best picture contender for next year, which is a long shot given the fact that it's an X-Men Wolverine movie. But you know, this is like the tour de force that is, you know, Hugh Jackman as the character. And I think they're bringing it. I think they're bringing it hardcore. And personally, I can't wait to go see it. I'm looking forward to, I'm going to hope to go see it in IMAX, or at least a large format when I can. But yeah, this to me is like, the Logan movie is one of the top 5 I'm looking forward to this year, right? And I keep meaning to like make a goddamn video talking about all the movies I want to see this year, but that is definitely one of them. And I feel like after the success of Deadpool, and after they did really well letting it be R-rated and kind of letting go of the overproduced side of it, and then going into X-Men Apocalypse, which was almost like the opposite of that, where you could see where the studio was kind of interjecting itself into that a bit too much, and how that kind of failed to connect with the box office. I think they really just said, okay, we're going to let our filmmakers make the movies they want to make, and we're going to support them and see how well it plays out. Now, I don't know if an R-rated Wolverine movie is going to do gangbusters, but this movie just looks like a good movie in general. Even if it didn't have Wolverine attached, it just looks good, right? And so I'm really hoping that they brought it, and I'm really hoping that this thing satisfies fans and gives us a solid conclusion to the character. Although, just my own prediction, he gonna die. Like, he gonna die. It just feels like that's kind of where it's going. Is like, you know, but then again, there's that shot in that first trailer where he is like bloody and like holding a shovel, and then she comes up and holds his hand. I kind of thought to myself that that's where Professor X dies, right? Because he's like 90 years old, and like, you know, he's feeble and shit. And so that could be the last shot of the movie as well. So maybe Wolverine doesn't die, but Professor X does, and then Wolverine goes to raise X-23. So I mean, I know that it's based a lot on the Old Man Logan comic. I haven't read that comic, so I don't know any of the plot details. So I'm kind of running in on a very surface level mindset here. But that being said, I think this movie is going to be fucking tits. Okay, now jumping over into oh dear holy god, what the fuck is Sony doing news. They announced today on Twitter that the EMOJI movie, you know, it's still coming. That wasn't a joke. It's still a thing. But they announced who's going to be voicing the character of the poop emoji. It's Patrick Stewart. Somehow that makes it a little bit better. And I hate myself for saying that. It really does. Okay, because here's the thing: is Patrick Stewart, you know, Jean-Luc Picard. You've known him like that for years. You know him as Professor Charles Xavier. You know him from a number of things, right? But it wasn't until he started voicing a character on American Dad, and the shit they got Patrick Stewart to say for American Dad, and how funny he was in American Dad, makes me honestly think that the poop emoji might actually be okay. It might be the emoji. Like here's the thing too with this. Okay, so Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, right, is a movie I did not want to see. The trailer looked stupid. I just didn't care for it at all. I was like, Sony Pictures Animation, fuck those guys. They don't shit, right? They, you know, fucking. But they make okay movies. I enjoyed Surf's Up for what it was, you know, but when I went and saw Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, I fell in love with it. And I've seen the movie probably close to like 60 times since then. A lot of that had to do with the fact that my girlfriend used to fall asleep watching it every single night. And so when I got home from work, the movie would be on and I would just end up watching it. And I've seen the second one, not as many times, but definitely quite a few amount of times. And I'm hoping for a third one, even though I heard the transfer, it's really more going to be a TV series versus a third movie. So that sadly, Anna Faris and Bill Hader won't come back to voice the main character. So Sony can still surprise me with this, right? I mean, like the Smurfs, the third Smurfs movie is all CG. It's no mixture, no hybrid, and that is actually why I want to see it, because it's strictly animated. So if they realize the type of product they're making with the Emoji Movie and they don't take it seriously and they're just throwing stupid jokes, it might actually have a chance at not being complete dog shit, provided that the writing and the directing doesn't take itself too seriously, but still throws in enough adult humor to keep people like me entertained and the kids entertained and anyone else not trying to kill themselves in the theater for going and seeing the Emoji Movie. Okay, so jumping over into Oscar news. This isn't so much movie related as it's industry related, but next month on February 26th is the 2017 Oscars, and they're going to be announcing the nominees on January 24th, so just in 5 days. But the biggest difference that they're doing is that they're going to be live streaming the announcement of the nominees on Oscars.com and Oscars.org, so people like me who don't have cable television can tune in and watch it live instead of having to go and like find it through satellite providers or Good Morning America or things like that. This is the first time that they've done that. And the reason why it's important is because it shows you that the leadership at the Oscars is starting to change. Now, a lot of people last year and the year before that were upset at the whole Oscars So White campaign. I was as well, because I feel like people who are complaining about the Oscars and work in Hollywood know how the system operates and are actively trying to change it. They're just bitching until someone gives them what they want. However, given the shakeups that came from that, I do feel that this particular approach is definitely part of it, right? I think it's definitely part of what came out of that shakeup. So if they offer this in terms of live streaming, that means that the Oscars themselves could be potentially live streamed, because like I said, I don't have cable. So if I want to watch the Oscars, essentially I have to find either a bootleg stream somewhere, or I have to watch Twitter to see who wins, or follow the Reddit threads to see who wins, or watch it the next day on Hulu or something. Well, I can't be involved in the live tweeting of my snarkiness of who won and my condemnation of my anger of who won and who didn't win. Still mad that South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut lost out Blame Canada to fucking Phil Collins from Tarzan. I know you guys might like Phil Collins, and I love Phil Collins too, but come on. Best original song, Blame Canada blows it out of the fucking water. And that's actually one of the times, one of the reasons why I stopped watching the Oscars. I was so mad at that. I was like, I'm done. But I still follow it. I still like to play along and whatever, because there's always those little games of like, oh, can you predict the winners? And it's like, yeah, let me go look to see who's buying the more advertising everywhere now. But one of the reasons too why I think they're choosing to go the digital route or the streaming route is because more and more films are getting kind of award nominations or awards attention that are coming from Amazon and Hulu and Netflix, original content that's not being produced through the standard distribution model. In fact, I'm going to do a separate video on this or a separate story on this probably for tomorrow, but I just read right before recording this episode that Sundance is at the Amazon Instant is at Sundance right now, and they are offering, filmmakers like $100,000 for the streaming rights to their movie. And some people in the industry are kind of like, oh, and shit, because people want to see this content and they want to see it. They don't always get the opportunity to go see it in theaters because small independent chains maybe won't carry it, or they never are able to make it there because it's so far out, like, I mean, how many times have you gone and seen an independent film at a small single screen indie theater in your town? Like I've done that multiple times. When I lived in San Diego, like one theater was showing Fido back in 2008. So like I had to, and it was a 1 week window. So it was like, okay, my night off, I grabbed my two best friends and my brother, and we all went and saw Fido because that was the only way we're able to go see it. And that movie is great. And I would love the opportunity to be able to see those kind of films streamed to Amazon and to Netflix and to Hulu, because that would give me the opportunity. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. I do want to cover that on its own later. So, I'm really impressed that the Oscars is taking this route. it's taking them a bit longer to get to this point than I think would have been good, but it's entirely possible that they're choosing to do this because every year for the last couple of years, I think minus the Seth MacFarlane hosted episode or event, they've been losing viewership, and they maybe now they realize that all the cord cutters want to watch this on devices in their own home or on their own device or so on and so forth. So it's good that they're choosing to go down that route, and I hope they stick with it and give us the opportunity to watch the whole thing from YouTube or from Hulu or from whatever on February 26th, because that's quite frankly the only way I'm going to watch it live. All right, guys, so finally today I want to talk about a new reality TV show that's all for horror movie buffs, which is why I'm talking about it on a movie podcast. So what it is it's an untitled show right now. There's no title, but the host is Bruce Campbell. And if you are one of the contestants selected, you get to basically hang out with Bruce Campbell from July 2017 until August 2017, during that time of production for this reality TV series. There's not a lot of information on it. It just says here, if you are over the age of 18 and love horror, Bruce Campbell is looking for you. The opportunity of an unlifetime awaits select Fear fans. Spend the night in a haunted mansion or cursed woods with Ash himself. Campbell's new project seeks collectors of horror memorabilia, horror film blog writers, cosplay masters, macabre makeup artists, spooky film directors, haunted house owners, and anyone else with a passion for the genre. Now, I like horror movies, but I am not like a horror movie buff. I'm not a huge fanatic. Like, I enjoy them, I watch them, but I don't know. I got a buddy of mine, though, that watches every single horror movie he can get his hands on, and I'm definitely going to send this over to him. I would love to apply for this and to hopefully get in, and then to spend a month and a half or 2 months on a reality TV show set hanging out with Bruce Campbell. Although, from my understanding, he's not the nicest guy in the world to hang out with. He's kind of a diva. I believe the words that were used by a producer trying to get Freddy versus Jason versus Ash made called him a miserable prick. Those are the words he used to describe Bruce Campbell, to which case I was kind of taken aback by that. I'm like, really? He just seems like the nicest guy. The one time I met him, he was like super fucking nice and shit. So there's that. So if you are a horror movie nut and you feel this is something that's up your alley, I'm going to link to it in the video description. Go check it out and apply. And if you get in, let me know, and then like totally keep me abreast of what's going on, because it does seem like I don't know what it is. You'd hang out in a haunted mansion or a cemetery with Bruce Campbell. That just sounds like a fun time. I don't care who you are right there. It's like, you want to go chill out in this fucking old haunted mansion? Yes, I do. Like, I don't believe in ghosts, but I love the idea of ghosts. It's like there's a nun cemetery next door to my place, and I just walk through it sometimes, and that's creepy as shit, especially when you're walking by there and there's a fresh plot. And I've seen that a couple times too. It's just creepy, but that's the kind of macabre stuff I'm into. So maybe I should apply. But I don't think I would get in, but it would definitely be a lot of fun to try. All right, guys, that wraps up this episode of $3 Theater. My name is Mundane Matt. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, talking movies and what's going on in the world of entertainment. And I'll chat with you guys probably tomorrow on another exciting episode of $3 Theater. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share it around. If you know anyone who likes movies and like wants to talk about them in more of a positive way than like the cynical, snarky shit, then go ahead and send this over to them, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to cultivate that particular audience and that idea that we can talk about movies and enjoy them and not look for every single fault that we can without taking the time to appreciate the good that's come out of it. And as I always like to say, there's always at least one bit of good in every single movie, because of the process it takes to make them. People put in their blood, sweat, and tears. Not everything that you see is absolute shit. And I like to try to find those little things that are a lot more fun, and then just have a good conversation versus trying to pinpoint everything I hate or dislike and then focusing on that directly. So that's my mantra, but you guys already know that if you watch this show, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace out.